Good day, doodlers, and welcome to Draw Cartoons. It's time for the November 2021 Discord Art Showcase. I've got to say, there's an incredible amount of artwork making it into the Discord at the moment, and I couldn't be happier. You guys are more productive than ever, and it's becoming harder to keep track of. But don't let that put you off. Quite frankly, the more the merrier. But what I will say is if you don't see your art in this video, and you did post it to the art channel in the Discord, it's not because I don't like it or anything. It's just that it's becoming increasingly more and more challenging to pick out the pictures that I really want to explore and explain the most in each video. The work you guys have been doing has been incredible, so just keep it up. If you do end up enjoying this video, I would really appreciate a like so that you can help me beat that YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so that you can catch videos just like this one and tutorials in the future. With that, let's get started. First up, we have 25 Inches again, who, among other things, has been working on their sprite artwork. I believe 25 Inches has been using software called Sprite. I'm yet to actually explore this software myself, but it looks phenomenal. It's fairly cheap, it's available on Steam as well, interestingly enough, and it seems to be just really good starter software for sprite artwork. You can even make animations and stuff like that. So this might be software that I'll do a tutorial on in the future once I've tried it out myself. But if these are anything to go by 25 Inches, it looks like we have a combination of excellent software and a lot of expertise on your part already as well. I'm really impressed by these. There's definitely a professional looking element to them. Baba Booey drew Darkrai from Pokemon, one of the more popular and interesting designs that Game Freak have ever come up with, if you ask me. And I've got to say, Baba Booey, you absolutely nailed it. I'd say the only thing that really needs fixing is the hand that's pointing towards us just needs to be bigger to kind of show off that sense of perspective. Of course, as things get closer to you, they appear to be bigger from your own perspective, and in drawings, that's no different. Really nice though. Now, I may not know what Cookie Run Kingdom is, which is what this character is from, but I do know good art when I see it. We have a brilliantly executed symmetrical face, we have a gorgeous hairstyle, tons of flow, and somehow, simultaneously, a kind of natural yet cartoony look to it. We've got some shading on the skin. There is shading missing from other parts of the drawing, but that's okay, and I imagine this isn't entirely finished yet anyway. This is a fantastic start to digital art. You've got a lot of things right here. It is only a bust, so to speak, so it's basically chest and upwards, so you've got the head and the shoulders and such, but the proportions are there, and whatever they're wearing in their hair looks edible, and that's quite tricky to pull off. So all in all, this is excellent. Crystal has gone for simply a head here, but it appears to have been drawn freehand, as in there's no guidelines put down or anything like that. I'm loving the eye style, it's very reminiscent of Dragon Ball, and the hair's really good. It's got a nice kind of sense of flow to it. I can see there's a bit of a smudge on it, which is very difficult to avoid sometimes depending on the medium that you're working with. But this is great, I'd love to see more from you. Doom has been working on some DC superheroes like Batman and Daredevil. I had to pluck this one out because they've done an excellent version of the classic sort of DC old school cartoon anatomy here, where the characters are kind of pointy triangles, they're very top heavy, and they've nailed that perfectly. On top of that, I can see some nice shading here. Feel free to explore different colors for your shading. That does remind me that is something that I want to do a tutorial on in the future. But yeah, just had to shout this one out. Eba has drawn, oh my goodness, that's terrifying. It's really good, but does that look like the face of Mercy? Okay, let's see if there's another one. Here we go. Okay, so here's something. It looks to me that this is quite inspired by Squid Game. This is almost like your own version of it. This is something that I love doing when it comes to exploring characters in cartoons. You can just kind of make the drawing your own. You can really kind of play with the costume or the design and just entirely restylize it. I would say that the hand is looking a tad small here, but the glow that you have on this kind of almost like a crystal ball style head just looks phenomenal. Gamerlord has been really busy this month, and not only did they absolutely knock it out the park with this wonderful wintry illustration here, absolutely love the tones and the eyes on this one especially, they just look fantastic, but they've also been doing some animation. Gartic Phone is a free online resource. You can also play drawing games on it, which are pretty fun. I've tried it a bit with friends and it's a good laugh, but of course you can also animate things. It's fairly rudimentary compared to more professional animating software, obviously, obviously, but in a pinch, and if you want a free alternative, Gartic Phone can provide really nice and clean frame-by-frame animations. Gamerlord, it looks like you really know your way around this, and I love this animation. I can tell that's Ultra Instinct Shaggy, isn't it? I just know. I spend far too much time on the internet. Also, the likeness is really, really good. Absolutely love this Gamerlord. I can't wait to see more animations. Hannah Montana, no, not the Hannah Montana, at least I assume it's not the Hannah Montana, has followed my tutorial on how to draw Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 1984. This is a supremely colourful rendition. I love how liberal you've been. You've almost done like the pride flag from top to bottom on those wings. You really expressed yourself with this one, and that is very much what art is all about. Mouse here has been getting in some posing practice, and I approve. I did a tutorial on exactly this, and I can tell that they've followed it to the letter. You can see the progress from left to right in an improved pose. There's more expression, more curve, more cartoonism about the one on the right. The one on the left isn't objectively wrong. It's just not quite as interesting looking as the one on the right. The progress here is fantastic, and Mouse, I encourage you to keep going and implement this in your own unique drawings. Nobody, is that a JoJo reference? Of course it is, because the likeness is excellent. I love seeing you guys exploring different art styles, and anime is definitely not an exception to that rule. While anime has its pros and cons as an art style, it's definitely something worth checking out and experimenting with to see if it's something that you enjoy drawing yourself. However, despite that, Nobody has also quite clearly experimented with more traditional Western cartoon techniques on the drawing on the left. That droopy expression, it's a mood. I'm going to be honest. Both of these look stellar, and I can tell that you've really been getting your practice in. Rapsian Not Found has been working on some perspective artwork. The sense of architecture and angle on this is absolutely brilliant. You've got 2 vanishing points, and that's all you need to construct a realistic looking building. I don't really have anything to add to this. It's just absolutely superb. Now, I talked about anime a couple slides ago, and we are going straight back to that subject. Ray is not here. You might not be, but your art certainly is. This is an absolutely knockout example of anime artwork. It's very advanced, and I can tell that this is something that you are very, very familiar with indeed. If you apply more polish and color to your artwork, I'd love to see it. In the spirit of last month, which of course was Spooky Month, Rebob did this very eerie and very atmospheric drawing of Slenderman. It's looking really good and menacing, exactly the way Slenderman should look. Next to that, you also drew the mascot of the channel, by the way. I adore this. I absolutely love when people draw the mascot. I haven't really got a name for them yet, so if you guys can come up with any cool drawing kind of puns or something for the name, I'd love to hear it. I've got a couple of names in mind anyway, but nothing that's really set in stone. But Rebob, thank you so much for the artwork of the mascot. I absolutely love that. Remaramus is back, and they're absolutely killing it with their latest art. First up, we have this perspective drawing of Spider-Man. The way his head's kind of angled back is really punctuated by the shadow just kind of underneath his head there. This is really good, and you're going to be doing some absolutely stellar shadows if you keep working at stuff like this. On top of that, we have something slightly more on the creative side here, a Cyclops. I love the face on this one, the very kind of bottom heavy underbite sort of fangs there, the huge bulky arms. I think I remember you saying you were going to get this one all finished off, so I can't wait to see how it turns out. Back to superheroes now, and Tamada, you did a super job of this one. Okay, puns aside, seriously, this is a really cool drawing of Miles Morales, who, for those of you who may not know, is Spider-Man from an alternate universe to Peter Parker, although it does kind of cross the lines in some of the Marvel fiction. But all you have to know is that this is the Spider-Man from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is an absolutely incredible movie. I would love to do a video about it actually, just because it's just a quality example of an animated movie. Anyway, Tamada, the posing on this one and the anatomy, the proportions, it's incredible. I have to say, Anointed, hopefully I said that right, you are off to an incredible start in learning how to draw cartoons. You've gained a really good understanding on how cartoons work and how they should be proportioned, especially when it comes to the expressions. I can't wait to see where you go from here. Hey Vaderkid, thank you for the chalky milk. But seriously, I had to show yours off because I love the simplicity of those oval, blackened out eyes. This is something that you will see very often on cartoons, simply because they're quite easy to animate and yet they still look absolutely fantastic. Love the huge head on this one and the kind of perspective with the hand reaching forward with the chalky milk. That's looking real good, Vaderkid. Vector's artwork is coming along nicely. I like the near villainous looking kind of outfit on this character with the menacing expression. I'm kind of getting Syndrome vibes from this. If any of you remember The Incredibles, I'm thinking Syndrome without the hair, just a little bit. Does anyone else get that? Anyway, I love the flow of the cape. The posing isn't bad, but you could do with trying out something a bit more dynamic. It's much harder and it's something that will take many tries, believe me, but you'll end up with a really interesting looking drawing, and once you've done it right once, future times will be a bit easier from there. But this is a good start, and keep an eye on your symmetry. And finally, a little something different by Ya. We have a shoe design here, and not just any old shoe design, but something colored and designed to look like Carnage from Marvel. I love the inclusion of the Carnage head over there towards the back of the shoe, keeping it black and red as well, very much within Carnage's very narrow choice of colors, and the emblem there just kind of on the left front side of the shoe as well. Cool that you've used your imagination on this one also to kind of alter the Nike tick as well. Even though this isn't explicitly a drawing as such, I wanted to show this one because it's just another example of art being used to express oneself and trying out new things, trying out designing things with existing characters in mind in this specific example. And that's it for this month. Keep sharing your work in the #art channel of the Discord, guys. I can't wait to see what else you can come up with. This video was a little bit later than planned. I'm in the process of learning some new video editing software, and I'm also exploring options for what I do in my videos in the future. I don't want to stick to just tutorials, although tutorials will probably always be the bulk of what I do. But anyway, thank you for your patience, and I will see you next time.